ND grad filters are an essential tool for the landscape enthusiast. Today, we're going to be showing you how to use them to darken down bright skies in camera. Neutral density filters attach to your lens to darken down the image, allowing for longer exposures in bright conditions. These are used for shooting waterscapes or blurry clouds. An ND grad filter, or graduated filter, is half an ND filter, allowing us to only darken down half of the image. This is useful for subduing skies when they are brighter than the landscape. A set of Cokin filters can be obtained for around £40, which will get you started. Or there are the more highly acclaimed Lee filters in the region of around £155, favoured by professionals as they produce less colour cast. Grad filters come in both different strengths and two different styles. Typically, a set of 3 will have a 0.3 stop, a 0.6 and a 0.9. The greater the number, the darker the filter. They also come in both hard and soft edges. The hard grad features a drastic shift between the light and dark. The soft edge is a more gradual and less harsh line between the lighter and the darker areas. We've already set up our Nikon on this tripod to give us the time to focus on composition. As you will have noticed, these filters do not screw directly onto the lens, as many others do these days. The 100mm rectangular filters attach to the lens via a bracket. This is useful as it means we can use any diameter of lens by simply swapping the bracket rings. This is far cheaper than buying another sized filter, and it also allows us to position the filter more freely. Screw the correct size ring onto your lens and then attach the bracket. Slide the filter into the bracket. We have 3 slots here, giving us the option to double up on filters for increased strength. Slide the filter up and down to align it with the horizon. With the bracket, we are not restricted to having the filter dead in the centre of the frame. The whole bracket can also be rotated if we were shooting on a hillside. So let's put them to the test. First off, look at your scene and decide which filter to use. If you have a clean, straight horizon, then use the hard grad to darken down the sky. If you have a slightly uneven horizon with some trees in the distance, the soft grad will be more suitable as it will ease the sky into the exposure without affecting the distant trees too much. Next, calculate what strength of filter you'll need. Stick your Nikon in aperture priority mode. Set your aperture to f11 to keep the image sharp. Photograph only the landscape. This gives us a shutter speed reading of 1/160th of a second. Then move to shoot only the sky, for which the metering is telling us to use 800th of a second. That tells us that there is a difference of around 2 stops between the land and the sky. Therefore, a 0.6 grad filter is required to balance the image. You do not have to actually take the photo for this. Simply looking at the predicted shutter speeds after metering will tell us what we need to know. Set your camera to the settings predicted for the exposure of the landscape, which is 1/160th of a second shutter speed at f11. And here we can see that in one clean image we have exposed for both the shaded landscape and the bright sky. There are times to avoid ND grad filters. Of course, with darker skies they are not necessary, but also with mountainous, uneven landscapes and larger objects on the horizon, the filter will not work correctly as it will darken down the top half of anything overlapping in the horizon. In this case, it is better to bracket your exposure and use Photoshop's more precise modifications to balance the image. So if you're a keen landscape photographer and aren't already using grad filters, pick up a set for your next outing to try these simple tools.